And I said, listen, man, I feel bad about bringing y'all this information because a couple of weeks ago, somebody brought some information to the table that was patently false. I can't do that. It was patently false. These numbers were skewed, and you wonder why we had to bring them. Don't act like you didn't. People be. I did a show the other day. I said, y'all be gaslighting. You act like you don't know why we had to bring them numbers to the table. Tyvis, you know why the numbers had to be bought. Somebody told somebody. They said, man, you know, I had them 19 to 16. You're like, whoa, that's an improper fraction, homie.
Well, the thing is, so we asked Jason Lloyd and Zach Jackson about it because Zach came on the Cleveland show on Thursday, and he was saying, he said, I don't know how they got them numbers because all the reports said it was 2 fields going on at one time. So that's the part that gets me. That's why, like, I don't know how people are sitting there saying, like, definitively that this person was better than that, because if Kenny Pickett and Joe's going at the same time, it's not like you got 4 sets of eyes that can see both, or you got that you could cross-eye yourself and see both sides. So, like, did you see it? So the reps that you saw of him that you actually paid attention to, was that just the part that was bad? Because if you probably ask these coaches, they'll say, no, they did exactly what we wanted them to do. They went where they went with the ball. It was good decision making and things like that. So to me, these reports is kind of inaccurate because unless you got 4 sets of eyes, you're not looking at both fields go at the same time.
Unless y'all came up here with a whole team of you got now you I don't know if your beat reporter got this. Yeah, I got four interns at each field. We're gonna watch Dylan. We gonna do all these numbers. We're gonna at the same time. I want you to take film. I didn't even know you was recording and doing all that because of the other stuff. But here's what we're gonna get to. You got to bring the receipts. Got to click conflicting reports because here's the thing. I'm gonna play this clip right there. This is Jason Lloyd. This is courtesy of Infinity Network. He goes on in this clip and he says, bro, he was definitive. Like he's saying in this clip that he does not believe that Dylan Gabriel is a NFL quarterback. This is wild to me because I had to say I didn't come to that conclusion on DTR until I seen him play in the games and all that. And I said DTR is in the UFL. He's in the XFL, Tyvis. He's not a regular. But this guy, listen, I give Zach Jackson credit. If they thought that G. Bush was definitive, no, Zach Jackson, he's on that Kool-Aid. He's not playing with people. Let's take a listen to this.
Throws the best ball. Everybody wants to see Shedeur. He's been impressive.
Let me drop a bomb on that. Let me bring that back. Hold on. Before I do that, hold on. Hold on. First of all, get all this moving stuff off the screen. You look like amateur, G. Bush. Come on, you're doing way too much. There you go. Boom. And this is courtesy of the Infinity Sports Network, by the way. Here we go.
Joe Flacco clearly has the strongest arm, throws the best ball. Everybody wants to see Shedeur. He's been impressive. You talk to people in the building, they say he's been impressive. He's only been in the building like 16 days at this point, right? So what this competition is, Zach, right now, for at least 2 more months and probably beyond that, it's 2 different competitions. It's Flacco versus Pickett for the starting job, and then it's the 2 rookies positioning themselves against one another, but really just in the scheme of things to be ready. And I'm telling you, like, I like what I see from Shedeur. I mean that. But I don't know that either one of these rookies will ever play, let alone this year. I don't know that they'll be ready. We just don't know at this early stage.
Wow. Like, that's never play for, like, I would be surprised if, I know that they're not going to keep all 4, but if we don't see at least 3 quarterbacks play this year.
Well, sure. But I mean, Dylan Gabriel does not look like an NFL quarterback to me, like 0%. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Now, listen, that's the strongest statement I've seen thus far. Like we talk about the Shedeur thing where people say he a 5th round pick, but Tyvis, I've never listened. That 0%, that's very strong Kool-Aid, bro. That's very strong sauce.
First of all, Zach got a line, man. He got a line. I love the fact that he's drawing his line in the sand and he's just saying what it is. And you and I respect Zach's opinion because Zach is a straight shooter for people that don't know Zach. He tell it like it is. And all the other beat reporters might put a little sugar on it. Zach is a straight shooter. So I appreciate him. But if he's saying this, I have to take him at face value. I mean, now, we got to be clear on this part, G. This is the part that we can't, overlook. They seen 1 practice.
Right.
Okay? It was only one practice when Zach was making this announcement, So nobody really comes out day one of practice, especially as a rookie, and just tears it up. You do that stuff in college for sure. It's people Joey Bosa, I've seen it before where day one on the yard, these dudes just look like they ready. In the NFL, it's a totally different game. It's a different speed and stuff like that you got to get adjusted to. So I'm not willing to say that, Dylan Gabriel's not going to be a good quarterback. I don't know that yet. I have to see how, as I told everybody, you really can't make the decision on these guys until, if you want to know how a person's going to be, wait till them joint practices come out and wait to hear the stories out of them joint practices, because
and them ain't televised.
That's what
it televised.
No, you have to make sure you paying attention to these beat reporters when you see that, because quiet as it's kept, last year when they did the joint practice was it Philly? I think it was Philly. Where that's when they was like, Deshaun can't even complete a pass. Our offensive line can't block nobody. He can't even get fall down. We heard that. So it was
Zach said that.
No, you know what? It was the Vikings. Excuse me, it was the Vikings, because that's when Martin Emerson was going up against.
I remember that.
So correct myself. It was the Vikings. But it was at that moment that we should have been like, if they're saying this, there is no hiding it. There is no vanilla playbook. No, you're running the things that you actually want to run when the season comes around. So, like I said, when it comes to these quarterbacks, I'm trying to save my judgment until I get to those joint practices to hear what they say. Because they have two teams that they're going. What is it, Carolina, and I think it's Philly. I think those are the two teams. So if we hear those reports that Dylan Gabriel don't look like an NFL quarterback after that, then that's probably pretty true.
All right, here we go. Let's continue to keep it pushing. Let's see what else. But he came in out swinging.
So why do they love Gabriel so much?
Well, they fell in love with the intangibles, right? But they have an analytic charting project that they have followed in the past, and they loved him. And so, they were more than willing to admit, like, yes, you saw us in Mississippi at Jackson Darts thing. Yes, we've done the thing, but they kind of snuck in a trip to Oregon on their way to the highly publicized pro day at Colorado. And Gabriel was, fairly impressive at the Senior Bowl. Andrew Berry and Stefanski were there on the sideline watching every throw. He just flew under the radar, right? And then I just don't think any other team was taking him in the top 100 or probably the top 150. If I'm wrong and the Cleveland Browns have their quarterback, that'd be great. One of these years I would love to cover a normal franchise and a rookie quarterback that sticks around for more than 6 to 18 months. But if it's Dylan Gabriel, I will be beyond shocked.
Hey, listen, he that was courtesy of Infinity Sports Network. Now, look, we talking about the situation with, we talked about how the coverage is different. Like each individual quarterback that we see has this thing where one person says, now, if you listen to Mary Kay, if you listen to Tony Grossi, those individuals love Dylan Gabriel. Thought he threw the ball way better than Shedeur. Thought that he was a guy that was out there putting the ball on the money. Thought he commanded the huddle better. But then you hear Zach Jackson, and it's like, well, he's saying 0%. There has to be a 50-50 somewhere. Can't we all just get in the middle and just say, okay, to me, Tyvis, I think sometimes, see, I'm the one of the people that's an emotional one. I think sometimes people
the Duke of knee-jerk. You don't say. I'm shocked.
This guy. I think sometimes we put our money down on who we betting on, and we roll with it. Like we may roll with it because you identify Dylan Gabriel's undersized. He looks like an underdog, a guy that a lot of people wouldn't have picked, so people get behind him. You already know what Shedeur Sanders is. Shedeur Sanders got a crazy story. Like he's going from number 2 to number 5th round pick. Joe Flacco got a story. Hey, I'm the old golden retriever vet that then left out for dead, and I can still throw the football. And Kenny Pickett, he's a former 1st round pick. He got drafted by the rivals, kicked around, and had to sit behind a person in Philadelphia and watch him win the Super Bowl. And you got all these 4 stories, and I think people are just picking a story. Do you think people have, and especially fans and even some media, is like, I can identify with that, I like that?
Yes. There's definitely biases. There's always guys that people in the media, they're going to hear their stories and hear their journey, and they're going to side with them, and they're going to root for them. And it's it's going to be hard to say the truth for what's obvious. If the guy isn't doing well, they're not going to just bluntly say, yeah, he's terrible. They're going to say, you know what, he struggled today, but I did see some good things out of there, so there's potential there. So that's what it is. I mean, and I understand that. But at the end of the day, look at it. If he can't command the huddle, and the thing about this NFL thing, where it all comes to light, it always comes back to the arm talent. And I know there's people who don't understand what that arm talent mean. They think, throwing the ball deep 50 yards on a rope or something like that. That's not exactly what I mean when I'm talking about arm talent. When I say that a quarterback has arm talent, it's about a quarterback that can hit a dig route 18 yards down the middle of the field between a safety and a linebacker that's dropping. That, if he can fit that ball, that's considered arm talent to me. Those tougher throws to fit through the window. And Dillon Gabriel, I'm not saying his arm is weak, but it's not like he had the strongest arm. But what I did like about him in college is that he knew the timing of it. He knew that I'm gonna take this drop. I know my receiver. I'm going to throw this ball in this spot, and by the time that receiver comes out of his break, that ball should be right there. And I think for him, that's why he was able to succeed. And it's obviously in the NFL, everybody's really good. These DBs is really scrappy. You're going to have to fit it in the tight window. And I don't know if he has the ability to do that consistently enough. So that, to me, is the part that I worry about. And that's the same thing that they said about Shedeur as well. So I'm not letting him off with a pass either. That's another thing. They said that Shedeur's arm wasn't that strong. You see some of those fade balls. If you go watch a Travis Hunter highlight tape, some of them balls he stopped and had to come back too. He had the guy beat, but he had to stop and adjust himself to make the play. So it's not like Shedeur just got this thing in the bag either. Both of those guys have to work on those things, to which is why I say Joe Flacco is probably the easiest answer to this, because as far as everybody that I've heard, they said Joe Flacco's arm still looks really good. And if that's the case, you need to roll with that. I
told people before, I said, listen, Joe Flacco, he got a rare God-given gift with his arm, right? I think, I said, unless his arm falls off, that's why I was confused why people is talking about Kenny Pickett. To me, the Kenny Pickett thing never made no sense. We'll dive deeper into that as we continue to go. It never made no sense to me. I just didn't understand it.
You know exactly why they did that. I don't know why you acted like you. You don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You know why. Sam Darnold is why. That's why. Geno Smith is why. It's the new fad right now. You take a guy. You take a guy that was a former first-round pick, probably bring him into your system and be like, you know what? The talent is there because he graded as a first-round talent. Maybe I can break the game down to him that he would understand it a little bit better, because that's what Sam Darnold said. Sam Darnold said he got to San Francisco. He talked to Kyle Shanahan, and Kyle Shanahan said things to him that he never knew about the quarterback position. It made the game just clear to him, and it allowed him to go out there and excel at that level. Kevin O'Connell is also a really good quarterbacks coach as well. I mean, all the young guys really gravitate to this man. And allegedly, Kevin Stefanski is supposed to be there. So that's why they doing it. I'm telling you.
I also seen the illegitimate stat sheet too. That 9-16, no touchdown.
Allegedly, he's supposed to be a quarterback guru.
Allegedly. We go, hey, P. Rothstein, we appreciate the super chat. Okay, we got Tyvis in the barber shop. Keep exposing that nonsensical hate for Sanders. If Sanders would have struggled in OTAs, that would have been a major headline on every local media station. And keep cooking.
Wait a minute. Wait. Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders have two different. Dillon Gabriel ain't the son of a Hall of Famer either. So like that Shedeur was gonna get good, bad, or indifferent. They're gonna report on Shedeur regardless. Now, it's good that there's nothing negative that they're saying about Shedeur right now. That's the best part about all this. But if Dillon Gabriel, if they would switch and Deion was Dillon's father, he would be getting this treatment too.
Hey man, that'd be crazy work if that was Deion was Dillon Gabriel's father. He was like, yo, he had a Hawaiian. He was saying, yo, he was out here cooking, man.
Hey, he get around. What Tupac say? I get around.
Boy, Coach Prime. Paul, the true believer, appreciate you, bro. What are you talking about? He already throwing interceptions in jerseys and shorts. It's gonna be worse when he puts some pads on.
See, that's what I'm saying. See, okay, so they said if you looked at I think ESPN Cleveland put the little stats out of the first day OTAs, and it said that Dylan Gabriel had an interception, and that's what it said. It said that Dylan Gabriel threw a pick that day.
Yeah,
we asked Zach and Jason about it, and what happened was the ball got batted down, it bounced up, and the dude scooped it, and they called it a pick. So he technically did not throw the pick that day. So that was wrong.
Mason Graham got some hands
that's
on
what
that.
I'm saying. It gets lost in the shuffle because you got two different fields going on at one time, and all you probably seen was, oh, this dude's running with the football down the other way, so he probably threw a pick.
Do you think this though? Too? Here's another thing too. I think will be happening, Tyvis. James Crosby, we appreciate you. You listen. Next time, if you're gonna donate like that, just say anything. Just put something in there. Just say whatever. I'm gonna give you a billboard. You can just say, "Hi, Mom." Just so you want to send out a shout out to your kids somewhere. You keep balling out. We'll put anything you want on the board at that rate, man. But we appreciate you. Let's get to this one too, because this gonna transition me right into what we want to get to. We want to transition. Practice makes perfect. Practice matters. So you can see who's learned in the classroom. Drop passes, interceptions, they all matter. And later. And Tyvis, I use this on UCSS because we need to talk about this. Because one of the things that we get to all the time is, I don't like that you use practice to disqualify somebody's merits, but then in the same breath tell me that practice counts. This week, the story was Myles Garrett was in Japan at Comic-Con, hanging out, doing what he's doing over there.
He got an alleged new boo. Allegedly now.
Allegedly. Listen, shout out to him. I would rather be over there with the new thing, new moves than putting my hand in the dirt here either. But my thing is, how is it that we can sit here and say that Myles Garrett needs to be there at practice? He needs to just be showing his face. The owner said when we gave you a new contract, we need to be doing all that. But then again say, in the next breath, oh, it's just practice. Shedeur was supposed to be doing that. I mean, why we getting excited about somebody throwing the football, catching touchdown passes with no pass rush or whatever? This is ridiculous. Why are we doing this? But at the same breath, though, it's been important for Myles Garrett to be here.
Well, you know why. You know why that is. The reason being, Myles Garrett, this is year 9 for him coming up in the season to oppose to Shedeur's rookie season. So therefore, you got an 8-year sample size of what Myles Garrett is probably going to be. You know, nothing's changed defensively. They got the same defensive coordinator, darn near the same D-line. They're probably running the same scheme. Myles knows it like the back of his hand. He doesn't need to be there. But a quarterback like Shedeur, who's a rookie, yeah, he needs to be there. He got to learn. He's got to adjust the speed of the game and all those things. And you're going up against a defense who need to get back to being a dominant defense. Obviously, if he's with the threes, that's not the case. But once he works his way up with the ones, he's able to make those plays and, you know, thread the needle on some of them balls down the field. Then you're more confident going into the season that this guy can do this against another NFL defense.
See, well, just transition. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for that super chat. We're gonna it's segues, right? 2,000 people in here, wherever you at. We streaming live on Facebook, UCSS, the Barbershop, and on Twitter. Make sure you like and share. Stop playing around. The Barbershop is moving. Tyvis Powell is in the building. Browns Radio Network, Big Ten Network. 97. What is 97.1?
Correct. 97.1 The Fan. Hold on.
Blazing hip hop and R&B, the new 97. No.
I'm a company man.
Hey, listen, babe, you slipping. Next time, you make sure you have my hats ready like Tyvis's. His wife got him together. She was seamlessly. I think she just threw that in there. I'm just playing. You good? Listen, let's get to this one, man. This is what people want to see. This is the thing I'm talking about. And I know people want to build people like the Shedeur Sanders fan base to be crazy. Like they are the new beehive. Like if I try to tell people,
see you aunties.
They not an uncle. No, I can't just say the aunties, the uncles, the cousins, the next door neighbors, the grandmothers. Listen, they're not playing around with y'all. I try to tell them it's different. I say, I try to get them together before they got in. I saw them coming. I said, look, Coach Prime said they coming, and they're here at the doorstep. Y'all not gonna be able to get that slander off. Y'all need to go
with a
ahead
Louis bag.
with the Louis bag, all kind of Gucci and Louis. Now, here's why people try to act like they just moving around, being upset and trying to be zealots over Shedeur. But I always give them pushback, Tyvis. I say the reason why they are so vocal is because people be throwing this side shade that be so obvious. You can see it in their tone, the way they be looking. They just be, oh, we got to talk about it. Why are we talking about it? Let me show you this clip. I got a couple clips. Where the receipts at? Now, this is one clip. Watch the way they talk about this thing with Shedeur Sanders, and watch the very next clip in the way they deal with another rookie quarterback. We're just going to talk about it a little bit. Let's go ahead and throw this. This is courtesy. Who
is so stupid.
This is courtesy of Breakfast Ball. This is my man Mark Schlereth on here. Check the way they talk, and it's not even really Schler. It's this man. It's not. I ain't got a problem with Schler. It's his guy. His homeboy on the left is out of pocket. Watch this.
This is so stupid.
Thank you.
This is so we get excited about OTAs. Like, what people don't understand is oftentimes in these OTAs we will script success. Like, as an offense, we'll go, okay, we're going against our second team defense. Let's make sure that we script like a great route combination against a really tough, a defensive look that they're overmatched in. So sometimes you put these things together where it's not necessarily best on best. You want to see a certain thing, and you want it against a certain coverage. So you're going, hey, man, offensively, we're winning this drill today, right? Tomorrow, you get to win the drill. So those things happen all the time. So
now, Tyvis, what he is saying there is factual.
That's a fact.
Go ahead, tell us. So that's factual, right?
Yeah, they definitely, if it's ones on twos, they're trying to get a look and they're trying to see somebody drew up some type of route combination and they want to test it out and see if they can complete the pass. That's a fact. That does happen. And then vice versa. When it's the one defense versus the two offense, same thing happens. We want you to draw this up because we want to see if we can defend it, if we got the guys that can defend it and make the play. That's what he's saying is true.
This is why I bring them on here. You let G. Bush, all you did is play a little Mac school. That's the most Google thing. Did G. Bush ever play? Listen, I bring all these veterans in here so he can tell you more than I can tell you, right? So guess what? Here you go. That is correct. But watch his mans. His mans is out of pocket. The guy in the bottom right-hand corner, he just chilling. He said, listen, I know the CU aunties is watching. I don't want no part of this. I didn't already had smoke with them. But the guy on the left in the flannel must not understand. Watch the energy is crazy, Tyvis.
It's 7-on-7 in these situations, scripted drills. To put any weight into this is just moronic.
But this is also why a lot of teams didn't want to draft them, because where's the Dylan Gabriel highlights? Where's the Kenny Pickett highlights? Where's the Joe Flacco highlights?
Whoa, sir. Whoa, sir. Whoa, you just came in spicy. Where's the Dylan Gabriel? So it got to be equal opportunity. This is why people push back so much, and then they try to act like he ain't being spicy. He's being very spicy there, Tyvis, is he not?
No, he is, but I understand what he's saying. We all understand that backup quarterbacks, you don't want your backup quarterback to have all that attention. And he's saying that when you draft Shedeur, of course, that's going to be the case because he's Deion's son.
Yes.
However, the thing is, and this is the part that's really bothering me, is that he works for he's on a TV show. What's going to help that TV show? Talking about the number one thing that people in the world want to know about. Shedeur Sanders. Don't nobody want to know about Don't nobody want to know about Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, or Dylan Gabriel. They want to know what Shedeur Sanders did, because there's so many people out there that's so mad at the fact that Shedeur was the number 2 quarterback coming out in the draft, and he went all the way in the 5th round. So they want to see, did that make him or break him? And that's why they're talking about this right now, because this is a popular opinion or popular topic that everybody wants to know of. That seeing that 7 for 9 for 3 touchdowns, everybody's like, "Oh man!" So the NFL was wrong. I mean, Shedeur is really in a situation right now where I'd say about 65 to 35. 65% of the world is rooting for Shedeur because they all felt he was wronged by what happened in the NFL draft. So this is something that everybody want to know. It's a popular thing.
This is why we cook on a barbershop. You're not going to get this nowhere else. If you want to go, if you really want to go to the radio, they're not going to tell you none of that, bro. You can't even get this off.
They wouldn't even waste a set. First of all, the Cleveland Browns, as great as much as near and dear to our hearts as they are, they're not to the rest of the world. Nobody in the rest of the world cares about the Browns starting quarterback job. The only hot topic with the Cleveland Browns right now is Shedeur Sanders. And you have to cover those things. So
and you bet. That's why I talk to people. I say, you local media dudes, maybe you listen. I was forced to cover the room for a living last year, and it was nasty work, Tyvis. You saw us week after week on the same show talk about the same old thing. But I'm gonna tell you what. Now, we got something to talk about because we're gonna find out. But watch him; he's still gonna be sassy. Let's keep going on.
Why is this a story? There's 4 other quarterbacks doing the same thing in a t-shirt and shorts, and I guarantee you they all look good.
All right. So listen, that's now listen. Because now listen, he didn't say nothing wrong right there. I guarantee there's other quarterbacks in a t-shirt and the shorts doing other things, and they all look good. But watch the energy level. Watch this. See, Tyvis just told you something. The Cleveland Browns, y'all must be thinking that y'all like they got love for you out there. They ain't got no love for you out there. They laugh at you, and you sitting around talking about why this is a bad thing. That's the only reason people talking about you. Watch the way this my guy right here. He gets it. It's just like when you was with high school, Tyvis, and you saw the one little girl that you used to like. And she walked by you and she'd be like, oh, you smell good today. You'd be like, I'm going to put deodorant on every day now. Watch how he perk up. Watch my man perk up right here. Here we go. Here we go. Let's set this up. Now, the stage is switched to the New York Football Giants. Now, let me just go ahead and just give y'all something. The New York Football Giants, I believe they drafted, what pick did they take? Where did they come in at?
They took, first of all, they took Abdul Carter with the 3rd pick. They traded back into the 1st round, which was 22 or something like that, to draft Jackson Dart, who's a 1st round quarterback.
Now, I like Jackson Dart. I liked him. I like his skill set. But the Giants ain't no good either. The Browns picked number 2 and the Giants picked number 3. That means you were terrible last year. You ain't no good. Watch the way this man in the flannel, his energy is just over. It's exuberant. Look at the way he talk about it. These guys is, watch this. Now, mind you, it's all people in practice not doing nothing. They all look the same. This is ridiculous. But watch how he talks about Jackson Dart. Not so. The Cleveland Browns have one of the most toughest schedules. You just negated that. And you just started off with love, everything that Jackson Dart has done. Now, mind you, I didn't know that the New York Football Giants had a different schedule where they played games already, and their rookie quarterback has gone out and improving and thrown the ball against starters and all the. Remember, you talked about all that good stuff about the inter-squad scrum. Did the Giants have those inter-squad scrimmages before? I was confused because right now he seemed to be loving all of the insignificant things that the Browns do too. What's going on with that?
What they on practice 1?
Practice one.
Yeah.
What do they love?
He out of line. That's what he is. He out of line right now.
The receipts.
What he's doing is he's showing his hate. Don't realize he's showing his hate. And that's something that a lot of people do. You know, like I guess you got tired of the Shedeur thing. You got tired of the wrist up thing. So you already formed your opinion of him, and you just don't care for him as a player. But Jackson Dart, you know, he's one of those guys that a lot of people was like, oh, you hear him at the Senior Bowl. He's such a leader. Oh, he's doing this and that. Oh, yes, this guy is going to be good.
Because he spelled his name with an X? Yeah. Jackson Dart, would you like that? You like his long flowing locks?
So really what it is, like I said, this dude personally, he personally has already checked out on Shedeur. And that's why he's acting the way he's acting. But for Jackson Dart, he believes that there is something there because he was taken in the 1st round. So you have to think that these guys potentially got it right. So that to me is where that energy is coming from.
But what about Russell Wilson? What about Jameis Winston? I'm sure that these guys are all at practice doing the same thing and they all look fine, right? See, it's
Well,
so easy.
actually, they said that Jameis looked terrible.
He did throw like 6 picks. He threw like 6 picks. Yeah, we've seen that before here. You might be right about that. And we'll continue on. Let's keep it moving.
New York Giants, right around Columbus Day, if not Thanksgiving, this year, Jackson Dart is going to be their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
And if you press me on it and say, okay, big mouth, which game?
You're going, I know exactly.
This man done pulled out the schedule.
They did.
This man pulled the schedule out and said, big mouth, what day? This man just really pulled out the schedule on 2 days of OTAs, but I'm supposed to be in a cult because Shedeur Sanders went 7-9 with 3 touchdowns. We're in a cult.
Yeah, he lost his mind. That's crazy because this the same day. I wonder how like different the segments was. Like, did he do the Brown segment? Did jump to this? Because he should have been like, "Man, I'm tripping."
His man on the bottom right still ain't said nothing. The guy with the suit that's too big, he ain't said nothing. He's like, "Listen." Yeah, they see. He already. Mark Slayer just keeps sipping that coffee, like, bro, you out of pocket.
That's where you're going, and I disagree. You're going to go week 5.
Week 5? No, I'm not going to start a rookie against Philly, San Fran, Green Bay, and Detroit. That'd be stupid. I think I start him against New England.
No.
I think week 13, Jackson Dart takes over the hell.
Go ahead. No, okay, it's week 1, and I'm going to show you video evidence. Go back to the video of Russ. Go back to the video of Russ. Here's video evidence.
I thought Mark Slayer, you just said that they scripted things.
Yeah, they script things for success of the offense.
But what if that was a play where they scripted something for the defense to win that rep? Would that just?
Well, they wouldn't do that because Russell is with the ones, so they should be probably going against the. Yeah,
really, you picked that?
I mean,
that's what he saw. That's what he seen.
That's hey, listen. Russ on the decline.